I never planned to expose anyone. I honestly wanted peace. But sometimes silence is treated like weakness. And that's exactly what happened with me. For months, rumors about me kept spreading, quiet whispers in DMs, comments on my posts, and screenshots being passed around. At first, I ignored everything because I believed the truth doesn't need defending. But when people started believing lies about me, I realized staying quiet wasn't helping anymore, that I didn't want drama. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted the truth, and I knew one day I would have to speak. But when that day finally came, no one expected what I was going to reveal. Not even him. This is how everything started. It all began when I noticed a few friends acting strangely around me. Messages became short, conversations felt forced, and suddenly, people I trusted stopped including me in things. At first, I thought maybe I did something wrong. So I asked one of my closest friends, "Is everything okay?" She just looked at me for a few seconds and said, "Honestly, I don't even know what to believe anymore." That sentence stayed in my head the entire day. Believe what? Believe who? When I tried asking more questions, everybody acted like they didn't want to get involved. It was obvious someone was telling a story about me, but no one wanted to say the name. That was the moment I realized someone was working behind my back, quietly, patiently, waiting for people to turn against me. And I still didn't know why days kept passing and the tension around me kept growing. I pretended everything was normal, but inside, I was constantly thinking, who started all this? And what exactly were they saying? Then one evening, I finally got a clue that a classmate accidentally sent a screenshot into the wrong chat. It was a picture of a conversation where someone had written, "Trust me, I know things about them. Just wait." No names, no context, just that one line. But the style of texting, the way they always use short sentences, even the way they put a period after everything. I recognized it immediately. It was him. Someone I had considered a friend. Someone I defended multiple times when other people talked bad about him. And suddenly everything clicked. But what confused me the most was why. I couldn't remember doing anything that would make him want to hurt me like this. That I even asked myself, did I say something wrong? Did I offend him accidentally? Did I misunderstand something? But then I remembered he was always jealous when I succeeded at something or got attention for something. He always turned distant when people praised me at first. I ignored those signs, thinking maybe I was overthinking. But now, it all made sense. The rumors weren't about something I did wrong. The rumors were about someone feeling threatened, someone wanting attention for themselves, someone who believed that if they destroyed my reputation, people would finally start noticing them. And the worst part, everyone believed him. Not because he had proof, but because I stayed silent, that I didn't defend myself. And to him, that looked like fear. He thought I would just take it quietly, like always. But what he didn't know was silence doesn't last forever. After I discovered he was behind the rumors, I honestly hoped it would stop there. I told myself, maybe he'll get bored and move on. But I was wrong. Completely wrong. Because instead of slowing down, things got worse. First, a few classmates stopped replying to me. Then some unfollow me on social media. And suddenly I noticed comments under my posts like, "If only people knew the truth, don't act innocent." I kept refreshing the comments thinking maybe I was imagining it. But no. Every new post, every new story, someone added another passive-aggressive message. That I still didn't respond, that I still stayed quiet. But my silence was now being used against me. People actually thought I wasn't denying anything because the rumors were true. Even teachers began looking at me differently, like I was trouble. I could feel it in their tone, the hesitation, the judgment. And yet, nobody actually confronted me about anything. They just decided to believe whatever version of the story they heard. Point one day, I overheard a conversation where someone said, "Honestly, I never expected that from them." That line hit me like a slap. That? What was that actually supposed to mean? And how did everyone suddenly become sure of something they never saw, never heard, and never even asked me about? But the strangest thing was noticing how much pleasure he seemed to get out of all this. Every time someone questioned me indirectly, he smirked slightly, like he had won something. That's when I realized this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was intentional. And the moment I understood that, I knew silence wasn't going to protect me anymore. The breaking point came unexpectedly. I was sitting in class, minding my own business, when I noticed two people on the other side of the room staring at me and laughing quietly. Normally, I ignore things like that. But that day, something inside me just snapped at SO during break. I walked up to them and said, calmly, "Is there something you want to say to me?" They froze, and O1 expected me to confront anything. And then one of them said something that changed everything. "Well, he told us what you did." My heart dropped for a second. But instead of reacting with anger, I asked the only question that mattered. "What exactly did he tell you?" They looked at each other, suddenly uncomfortable, and replied, "Look, we don't want to be part of this. Ask him." So I did. For the first time, I walked straight up to him, not in front of a crowd, not dramatically, just face to face. I asked him straight, "What did I ever do to you?" He avoided eye contact. He laughed a little. He pretended he didn't know what I was talking about. But I wasn't there to fight. I wasn't there to shout. "So," I told him quietly, "I know what you've been saying. And I know exactly where it started." He didn't say a word. Not even one. But I could tell from his face, he finally realized I wasn't afraid to speak anymore. And that was the exact moment everything began to turn. After that day, something changed. People noticed I confronted him, and slowly, the same people who ignore me started asking questions. Not loudly, not publicly, just in private DMs like, "Hey, is everything okay? What actually happened? Can I ask you something?" For the first time, I realized I had a choice. Either stay silent and let rumors grow, or finally speak and clear everything. So I decided to tell the truth. Calmly, without attacking anybody. I explained exactly what really happened. How things began, how the rumors started, how I found that screenshot, and how I confronted him without shouting or blaming. That I didn't exaggerate anything. I didn't call him names. I just described the facts. Soon, people who originally believed him started connecting the dots. They remembered things he said, small manipulative comments, times he seemed jealous, moments he tried turning people against others before. Suddenly, my side didn't sound like an excuse. It sounded logical, real, and honestly, kind of obvious. And maybe the most unexpected thing happened. People apologized. Not everyone, not loudly, but quietly, privately, and sincerely. Even the same people who unfollowed me came back saying, "I think I misunderstood you." And him? He became strangely quiet. No more smirks. No more secret comments. For the first time, it felt like the truth wasn't just mine. It was finally visible to everyone. But trust me, what came next, nobody was ready for. A week later, something happened that I never expected. Not an apology from him. Not even close. Instead, someone else sent me another message. A girl I barely knew. She wrote, "I think he's been doing this to other people too. You're not the only one." That one message opened a door I didn't even know existed. More and more people started telling me their own experiences with him. How he twisted stories, exaggerated situations, and pretended to warn people just to get attention. For the first time, I realized this wasn't about me at all, that he wasn't targeting me because of something I did. He just couldn't stand seeing someone else doing well. And honestly, Sparkles, that changed everything. Because instead of feeling attacked, I felt strangely relieved. IT wasn't my fault. That IT was a pattern, a habit he repeated whenever he felt threatened. Slowly, people started distancing themselves from him. Not because I told them to, but because they finally saw how manipulative he could be. The rumors died on their own. Not because I fought back with anger, but because I showed the truth with patience. The attention he wanted completely disappeared. That he stopped talking about me. He stopped making comments. He stopped trying to start conversations about me with others. IT was like exposing the truth took away his power completely. And the funniest part, I didn't destroy him. I didn't expose him publicly. That I didn't embarrass him. I just stopped staying silent. That's all it took. The day I finally stood up and calmly explained the truth was the day the drama ended. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. Sometimes the strongest move isn't yelling, posting, exposing screenshots, or fighting online. Sometimes the strongest move is simply refusing to accept lies anymore. And that's when I realized he only thought I would stay silent because silence used to be easier. But the moment I chose my voice over fear, everything changed. And strangely, it changed me for the better. Sparkles.